What is going on, everybody? Combo here, and as you heard by the title, today I'll be giving you 5 Peacekeeper tips to make you an absolute Peacekeeper god. So, I guess without any further ado, let's get right into the video. It actually has to do with hip firing or ADSing with the Peacekeeper. Now, I cannot stress this enough. This is the most important part of using the Peacekeeper correctly. So with most other guns, if you aim down sights and shoot, your shots are normally more precise and you're going to hit more shots. The Peacekeeper does not follow this. So, as proof, let's say I'm about this range. This is about a little far of the Peacekeeper, but it's okay. So we're going to ADS, right? 23. 23. Weird. Now let's try it from a different distance. We're going to hit fire first. 20. 20. The Peacekeeper does not group its shots based on whether you're ADSing. So with me, I just do an ADS with this thing. I'm going to be real. Maybe if I have a choke, and even right there, it did less damage when I was aiming down sights. I swear, your shots are more concise when you're not aimed down the sights. 40, 51. I also hit a headshot on that one though. Same thing right there. Do not ADS unless you have a choke. Speaking of the precision choke, number 2 actually has to deal with the theory going around that you should not be using the choke on the Peacekeeper. And I'm here to kind of quell that, but at the same time, I disagree and agree at the same time. So when using the choke, it really does screw up your spread, right? So like this, 103, but it's not practical. Most people like to do that when they ADS. That actually groups your shots more, makes it harder to hit. Me, on the other hand, I pretty much exclusively hit fire with this thing. So using the choke for me doesn't really affect it. If I'm going to use the choke, I have to set a few things up prior to. One of those things being a 2-time sight. When using a 2-time sight, and I know you're going to call me crazy, you're not using the choke as a shotgun. You're using it as a long-range gun, right? 102 to the head. It does about the same as a sentinel body shot from reasonable distance. Not quite the same range, much more steep damage drop-off, but you can hit people at range. So let's try this guy. He's also low, actually. So we're going to go back here. 46. You know, I'm not going to use the Peacekeeper as a shotgun with this. I'm using it as a sniper. And as I said, because I rarely ADS with it, having this 2-time sight doesn't affect me at all, and the choke actually doesn't have any negative effects on the spread in the gun. So everything seems to work out in the end. So if you're using a choke, I would highly recommend getting a longer range zoom sight, but either with the 1 or the 2, doesn't really matter. As long as you have a sight, I'd pick up the choke. If you do have a choke, do not aim down sights with it. Number 3 actually deals with the inner accuracy and hip fire of the Peacekeeper. Now, as you saw earlier, depending on where you're standing, the hip fire and the aim down sights damage are the exact same, which I'm going to show here. Just 20, just 20. Something very similar happens with the Peacekeeper when you're aiming down sights or hip firing in the air. Now, I would recommend hip firing because when you aim down sights, it can skew your aim a little bit and it makes it harder to hit shots. So, watch the little reticles, the little white things where it says I'm going to hit my shot. They are not going to move at all when I take this Opting jump pad. So, we're going to land right on this guy, and you're going to see my reticle doesn't move at all, and we can hit our shots accurately. So let's say we were right about here when we shot for 66. 76, probably just because I was in midair, I didn't have my reticle completely centered, but you saw the damage was similar enough that it's comparable. Proving, hence, the Peacekeeper does not lose accuracy while it's in the air. Number 4 actually deals with a bit of an unused tech. It's a bit obscure, but it's very good if you know what you're doing. It's called Peacekeeper Swapping. Now, how to execute this is obviously you would need 2 Peacekeepers. So, what you want to do, shoot one off, switch to another one, right? But the problem is, when you switch to this one, you can't immediately shoot it again because you have to cock it. So how you do this is you shoot, cock that one, cock this one, shoot, shoot. Once you get into a rhythm of it, it's not as hard as you think, and you can actually put out quite a bit of burst damage like this. If you're in a gunfight, say you can't immediately switch back to the other Peacekeeper, that's fine. Just keep shooting with the one you already have and drain that clip. This is mostly for that first interaction with somebody, for if you want to knock them immediately. If you get super close to them, so let's knock this guy real quick. Reload our Peacekeeper, cock this one back. You can just go, and you can immediately kill him. Now this one won't be ready for the next fight, but if you cock them both again, wait for somebody to turn the corner, you can do it again. If utilized correctly, this can be very strong, and you would think that you wouldn't have any long range, but if you decide to put a choke on a Peacekeeper, you can actually contend at longer ranges too, making this build pretty much the king of all ranges if executed correctly. This can be pushed even further, especially when using Pathfinder, as you can do things like this. Nuts. Number 5 is actually a tip for all my Octane mains out there. So as I said throughout this video, normally you want to be hipfiring the Peacekeeper. When you are playing Octane, under one certain circumstance, you do not by any means want to hipfire this. That's when you use your stim. As you can see here, I shoot pretty regularly, you know, not too slow, not too fast, but if I pop my stim and start hipfiring, you'll notice a very steady decrease in my hipfire speed. Right? Now let's compare that to without the stim. So yeah, you can see a very slow decrease there. So when you are playing Octane, if you use your stim, please ADS with this thing. Anyway guys, that about wraps up the video. I hope you enjoyed. Peacekeeper is one of my favorite guns in the game. I love making videos on it, and I genuinely hope some of these tips, you know, was something new. If you already knew them, once again, applause to you. If you didn't know, I hope you enjoyed. You know, go out and try them. Hipfire this thing. I cannot stress it enough. Start hipfiring this thing. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to hold you too long. This has been Combo. Have a wonderful day, and peace out, guys.